Greetings and good morning, everybody. Roses grown from seed. If you love roses like I do, this is a very time-consuming, long, patience-requesting project. And believe me when I say I have had my failures, but this year round, I actually feel like I've been, for the first time with this, a success. Look at those. Uh-oh, I'm seeing an aphid. How'd you find that? Isn't that funny? There's not even any flowers or anything, and an aphid just happens to find its way to these rose seedlings. Rose seedlings are a very long process right from the beginning. So, you just can't get rose seeds and stick them in the ground. I mean, you can if, bearing in mind the actual rose hip has potentially been on the rose bush for more than one winter season. You may actually have success by just then putting them, you could just put them in the ground and they may just germinate just like that if they've already had a time of cooling off and naturally stratifying. But the whole purpose of growing the whole thing about growing roses from seeds is that the seeds require a dormancy period of up to 3 months. And in nature, that is basically the winter season. So, once the flowers bloom in the springtime and the summer, they will be pollinated by bees or whoever. And then the hips will form, and that's when you can then pick them. When they turn orange or red, and you pick the hips, and that is where the stratification process can begin. So once you have your hips, you're going to want to put them in the fridge for 3 months. 2 to 3 months, I would suggest 3 months from my own experience. But you'll get a feel for when the right time is. And all you do is label them, put a date on them, put them in some very dry vermiculite, but still a little bit moist to the touch, but no water. You don't want your seeds to be waterlogged. I've got a couple of videos of going through this process on Elnor Gardens YouTube. And then you put them in the fridge and forget about them. And that's all you do. And then after 3 months, you then bring them out, and I'm going to show what you do with them next. Once you have finished the 3-month stratification period in your fridge, you may actually find that some of the rose seeds have actually began to germinate on their own. If not, all you do is just basically put them in some potting soil, some seed raising mix, and put them in a container like this. You see, it's got a lid. It's just one of these 25-liter containers, 20-liter, something like that. And you just put a little bit of moisture in the bottom. Don't worry about anything much else. Just keep it moist. It's probably a little on the wet side right now, but the rose seedlings don't mind. Now, obviously, there's a lot of other things growing in here. But look here. There's our little friend, one here. We have another one over here. And we have another one here. And I'm hoping for a few more to come up, but it hasn't been very warm, so nothing yet much has come up. I don't think there's anyone in these ones. These are vegetables in here. But it just shows you, once they're in here like this, I will then get a little knife, take them out, and then put them in a pot over here. And in the past, this is where I've gone wrong. I have kept these too waterlogged, because you've got to remember, roses are a very hardy species in general. So all I've done with all these others is just had them in this rack, and if it's too hot, I'll put the shade over, and every couple of days all I'm doing is watering. Just a shower over, you know, light spray, not too heavy. Here's another rose seedling over here. And I've got a couple more down here. Here's a lovely rose, beautiful rose, another rose over here, and some more here. I've got roses everywhere. And some more here. And so you might be asking, why grow roses from seed? Well, first of all, I like the challenge because they're not an easy seed to grow and they require a lot of patience. But also, you don't know what kind of rose seed or rose seedling or rose plant that this is going to turn into. I would speculate a lot of these, hi Venus, a lot of these rose seedlings are a cross between some kind of David Austin rose that I've had and a hybrid tea. Or they could be two David Austin cultivars that have just basically cross-pollinated. Some I have done by hand, some I have manually pollinated with one of my favorite roses, which is a Boscobel. If you know any David Austin roses, you'll know how sublime the Boscobel rose is. Beautiful, fragrant, high blooming, lots of rose hip yield. It's just a superb rose all year round. Good growth, just a beautiful rose. So I'm not actually sure what these are, but you can see these have been, this whole process has started from January all the way to now. We're in September, end of September, and this is where we're at. Beautiful little seedlings. And all you have to do is just keep repeating the process of watering. If it's a little hot, give it extra water. And if it's not, don't overwater because you will kill them. You know, and I know this from past experience, you'll kill them because the roots are too wet. They will start to rot. So, good luck with your rose germination journey. If you have any questions, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments or go to andalero.com and I can answer them there. Happy gardening.